There are estimated by Bridgewater and BlackRock $20 trillion over the next 10 years of real world assets that could be tokenized. Midnight gives us the ability to do that in an intelligent way because you can put a disclosure and compliance regime.
$20 trillion that is getting ready to be tokenized. And here comes Midnight. Is Cardano about to add an RWA narrative to its list of narratives that could push Cardano into the top 3 this market cycle? We're going to talk about it in this video. We're also going to talk about what the hell is Cointelegraph doing? If you're watching, shame on you. We're going to review what they said. We're also going to take a look at some on-chain metrics for Cardano. What do the metrics look like? Are people still using the network? Are fees going up? We'll talk about that. Also, the Bitcoin OS drama. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. What is happening? And is Cardano going to do their own thing? So like the video and let's jump in. I want to start. We'll get back to the video I just showed you. It's about 5 minutes video Charles did yesterday on RWAs. And I'm going to kind of give my thoughts on it, react to it. But I want to share this first. This is Cointelegraph. And the title of this article is How to Upset Cardano's Charles Hoskinson by Quoting Him Accurately. I'm assuming this all stems from when they interviewed him down in Token 2049 in Singapore, to which he reposted and kind of attacked him and said, look, we had a 2-hour interview. You took half a sentence of what I said that was taken out of context and you posted that. So he was upset about it, as he should be. Now we have this article that came out saying Charles Hoskinson is arguably the best and worst thing about Cardano. It goes on to say, this week, for example, he's threatening to sue Wyoming for not using Cardano for its stablecoin, which is utterly and completely false. He said in his 8-minute video, the reason he was suing them is because it was supposed to be an open sandbox using public money to find the best blockchain to launch the stablecoin on. And they excluded certain projects like Cardano, like Ripple. He's not suing them because they didn't choose them. They didn't even get a chance. They didn't even get a chance to give a demo. So that's one. The other one, it's personal when they start attacking your looks, right? Despite just having turned 37, he looks like a semi-retired professor with his retreating hairline. Cointelegraph, you have a great opportunity to be the go-to news source for cryptocurrency, and you're fucking it all up by targeting one of the most popular men, one of the most loved and hated men in crypto. But I'm telling you, the Cardano community is very loud. They're very loyal, and good luck to you if you continue down this road. So if you guys are watching, I recommend reach out to Charles, hash it out, interview him again, cover the project, cover Charles fairly, and you'll probably see a little more success. All right, I had to get that out of my system. I apologize. Let's get back to the video. Now, I'm going to start where I stopped. So he talked about, look, BlackRock and Bridgewater said $20 trillion over the next 10 years will be tokenized on chain, right? Real world assets. Now, when we think about RWA, Cardano is not the first one that comes to mind. Now, I know there's some plays on Cardano that do RWA. We know, Cardano's capable of it. But interesting that Charles mentioned Midnight. There's a few other things in here that he talks about. So I want to share the video. I'll intermittently pause to kind of give my thoughts on it. So let's jump in.
On it, because it's a real world asset. It's bound to a particular set of laws and geography. It has an issuer. It's always going to have an issuer. Its value comes from that issuer. It's not cryptocurrency. It's an RWA running on a cryptocurrency. So this doesn't compromise or impact Cardano. Cardano always stays in that world that has crypto ethos, but Cardano enables these assets to live and coexist. That's the point of having an asset issuance standard. So we know there's quite a bit of money that's floating out there. And with Midnight in Cardano and now Bitcoin DeFi, opening that entire marketplace up, we could get the vast majority of that market because it's the single best place to do all of it. So here's what we do at IO now.
So he said we can get a vast majority of that market. That's pretty interesting. We know everything he's been doing in DC. Could he be speaking with some, people around Washington, DC, whether it be some financial titans? I don't know. Ray Dalio, he mentioned Bridgewater, he mentioned BlackRock, Larry Fink, people from Fidelity. Who knows? But when Midnight comes out, it'll be interesting to see what kind of adoption it gets for RWAs. Now, of course, I want to note, this thing is not going to happen next week. It's not going to happen next week. Midnight isn't even ready yet, right? Ready to be deployed on the mainnet. And so it's going to take a little bit of time, but when that time comes, if Cardano can capture, I don't know about majority, but if it can capture a sliver of this RWA narrative and it's all done natively on Midnight and Cardano, we won't get into what we think that'll happen to the price, but obviously it'll be very, very bullish. Let's get back to the video.
So we have an innovation division. And as you guys know, we took Babel fees and it turned it into nested transactions. And they did that in about 2 PI cycles. So we're going to start a working group. And anybody who's interested in this topic, go ahead and reach out to Sam Leathers. Sam is a product manager on the Cardano side. And you know him. He does a lot of really cool stuff. And Sam can talk to you guys, but I'd like to put a working group together and have that working group go into our innovation process for our next quarter to do exactly what we did with Babel fees, where we wrote a SIP for nested transactions to write a SIP to augment our native asset standard to include a real WA. And there's a whole list of features that then can come in, and the business requirements are going to be determined not just by this brief whiteboard, but by a lot of real life use cases and conversations about foreign ledger control, like Bitcoin controlling its variant, Midnight controlling a variant, identity embedding, freeze and seize capabilities, dividend capabilities, and things to make real estate easier too, especially for how you handle your metadata embedding inside the system. Okay, and again, you can do this with a smart contract in Cardano already, but again, then depending upon the complexity of this, it can be complex, fragmented, insecure, and expensive to implement and run, and time-consuming. And you don't want to do that. You want to take a look at some of these design patterns, especially the royalty pattern, the stablecoin pattern, the real estate pattern, other things, and that you make a special purpose accommodation because we've already done it for our native assets and fungible tokens. So
that's the difference, right? Is Cardano has already done that because they treat their native assets differently than, let's say, an ERC20 or a BRC20 or any other really token standard that's out there. They're essentially all partner chains. They live side by side with Cardano. They're not underneath the Cardano umbrella. And so this already exists on the Cardano blockchain, and it'll be, I don't want to say easy because, well, nothing in blockchain is easy, but it'll be easier to scale that up into the RWA where he talks about paying dividends, right? Seize and freeze. This is something that they need to have implemented, whether you agree with it or not. You want large scale adoption from institutions and from governments, you're going to need to give them some central authority. And it's funny because in this video, or I believe it was this video or another video, Charles talked about, hey, we all want everything to be decentralized, but there always is going to be some sort of central influence. It is what it is. And so exciting things for Cardano. Now, if you would have told me that 2025, we were going to have a retail narrative, we were going to have a Bitcoin DeFi narrative, we were going to have a potential meme coin narrative, we were going to have an RWA narrative, I will tell you, look, man, just pick one, right? Pick one. It sounds like all four, potentially more, not even including what they're doing with nation states here in the US with crypto policy and overseas in South America, in Argentina. What's going to come about that? There's a lot of things at play here for Cardano. Which one will take hold and which one will grow the fastest? I don't know, but it's all exciting either way, and it's all going to bring immense value to the network. Speaking of immense value to the network, fees have just been continuing to go up and to the right for Cardano. Again, this is a great indication of our people using the network. Is ADA being consumed, right? Are fees being paid? And the answer is yes. We have been trending up really since the week of September 30th, and it's been going nothing but up. So great news. Obviously, people are using the network. Fees are being paid. Also, I want to share this from Ali Charts. Cardano whales bought over 130 million ADA, not dollars. Well, technically it would be dollars because Cardano's at $1. 130 million ADA during the recent price dip. I think people are coming around. I don't know why when it was trending sideways for 6, 7, 8, 9 months at 30 cents while whales weren't accumulating. But hey, accumulated $1 is completely fine because we know it's going a lot higher. And also for the people that bought at that 30 to 40 cent level, I'm sure you're enjoying watching this as well. Now, with the whole Bitcoin OS narrative, right? So if you're not plugged into this whole thing, Cardano partnered with Bitcoin OS, right? It was going to be essentially working together with Bitcoin OS to bring Bitcoin DeFi natively on Cardano. And it was going to be beneficial to the Cardano network because of Babel fees. Any transaction that went through Cardano smart contract, ADA would be consumed for the transaction fee. And so it was going to be a massive potential, right? Then 2 days ago, the team from Bitcoin OS came out and announced that they're going to launch their own token. To which I tried to find this comment, but I think Charles might have deleted it, to where Charles said something, I'm not phrasing it exactly, but he said something like, interesting, didn't know that. Something to that extent. And so he was kind of taken aback by it. The whole idea was, why would you need a token when you're essentially just a bridge, right? A back and forth mechanism. You can either use ADA or you can use Bitcoin to pay for transaction fees. So a lot of the community came out and said, this is a cash grab. This is a liquidity grab. It's not good for the space. And after watching Charles's video on Bitcoin, he did 2 days ago, I got the vibe that he's kind of moving forward, doing his own thing. That's the vibe I got. I don't know. Let me know if you watched that video. What do you think he meant? Do you think he's going to go his own route and build on Cardano by himself, or are they going to still work with Bitcoin OS? I don't know the answer, but he didn't specifically come out and say it. But that's kind of what I got from the video. And then we got this. This is a post from Charles. I just had a great call with my friend at Fairgate. SD Leonard is as brilliant as I remember. Time to cook oil with Bitcoin. And Fairgate is also similar. They're doing something similar to what Bitcoin OS is doing. So, not saying they can't work congruently with Bitcoin OS and with Fairgate and build something on their own chain, right, by themselves. But it's interesting to see how this thing's going to play out. I still think Cardano is going to have a place at the Bitcoin DeFi table. Is going to be through their own thing, or is it going to be leveraging someone else's technology? I don't know. Either way, I think that day is coming. That'll do it for the video today, my friends. Let us know your thoughts on this whole Bitcoin OS situation in the comment section. Also, come check out our live show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you in the next one.